Hi, my name is Anna Andersone and I'm going to be one of the course leads for your entrepreneurship course. And this is my entrepreneur's journey. My father was an entrepreneur, and ever since I was a teenage girl, I thought I wanted to build something on my own. But I didn't know what I wanted to create. So after high school, I went to SSC Riga and I specialized in 3 fields: IT, marketing, and entrepreneurship. And those turned out to be the fields that my career developed on. Since I was creative, I worked at Andersone Riga, the biggest agency at that time, and I worked there for 5 years, learning all I know about marketing. But after traveling several countries and learning from international Andersone Riga companies, and learning all I know about marketing, I felt that future is going to be digital. However, the big agency was not moving that fast to the digital, so I quit and I created my first real enterprise. It was called Hungry Lab. At Hungry Lab, I continued to build brand strategies, and together with my team, we built brand identities and worked on web, the digital. We built the first Mother Cosmetics interactive website, the first inspired interactive website, and also Kraski website. And we built the Mobili brand and the website as well. At that time, the web was developing really fast and everybody knew they had to be online to be internationally known. So we got friends coming to us and asking us if we could build a website for them. Those are mostly creative friends, like photographers, illustrators, designers. And we quickly realized that with our 1.5 developers, we cannot build a website for all of our friends. But we thought maybe we can develop something that they can use to build a website on their own. At that time, there were not that many tools like that. So that's how we accidentally created our first startup, which was a website builder. And we just built it for free, put it online, and people started making their portfolios, online sites, and even shops in our platform. But then the year 2008 came, and that was the global financial crisis, and we felt it severely. Our income and revenues fell 7 times compared to those before the crisis. So I called my team together and I told them that we cannot work in the conditions that we've done before. So we all had quite high fixed wages, and I said I can't pay those anymore. So I offered that people can either leave and find a new job, or they can stay and work on a project basis. And of the 7 people in the team, 2 said that they can't work like that, so they left, and 5 of us stayed. So it was 3 designers, 1 developer, and me. And we worked like that until spring of 2009, when the 3 designers decided they want to move to the Netherlands, and our developer decided he wants to move to Berlin. I got my first daughter, so I moved to work at home. So with the 3 designers in the Netherlands and 1 developer in Berlin, we continued working online, much like people do nowadays. If you have a question, how can you be an entrepreneur and a mother or a parent at the same time, then my answer is you need help and you need support. To continue Hungry Lab with almost no interruptions, I hired my sister. She was babysitting my daughter with me and running projects. She's also a project manager. And my husband was always very supportive. He's like my cheerleader, always there for me. When my daughter was 10 months old, I got an offer to join the media company IR. It was a new independent media company forming at that time, and I was very lucky to be part of it. So that was 1.5 years that I spent rock and rolling the media sphere together with some of the brightest minds. And I'm really happy that I had this opportunity to work with people who have similar values and want to change things in the society. I left it on maternity leave because my second daughter was born, but I didn't come back because things had changed with Berta, and we decided to build a new startup. So with Berta, we saw that we actually could make money out of the thing that we had created for free, just for our friends. But we also saw that the world had become abundant with that kind of tools as Berta. But we decided we want to build something new, something very innovative. And this time we consciously want to create a startup. So we started Frund. Right now you're seeing what Frund originally looked like. It's a demo that we built with the very first beta product. And with Frunt, we decided that we want to go for investors. We want to build a global business. So where we started off was we went to Startup Sauna, an accelerator in Finland. And our goal was to come back from there with investors' money. So then we could build a company here in Latvia and take over the world. When we went to Startup Sauna, my younger daughter was 8 months old. I was breastfeeding and I took her with me. So here we are in the dorm room working on Frunt. I hired a nanny. There she is in the photo. She took my daughter for 2 hours for walks, and that was the time that I was working most. But other times she was just crawling around and I was working. We also had to pitch and work at Slush. So for that week, my husband and my older daughter came over to take care of the baby girl. He was bringing her to me during the conference for feeding sessions. But here you can, in the video, you can see how happy she was to see her older sister after being several weeks apart, just with me. And the cool thing is that actually it worked, and we came back from Startup Sauna and from Slush and from all the things that we did there with an agreement about investment. So the investors in venture, Finnish investors, offered to invest 100,000 euros into our startup so we could build the first product. So yeah, our graduation, this is the graduation dinner. Graduation from Startup Sauna was very successful. So we came back and we started building the Frunt company. We hired a team, and at some point we had a team of 11 people. I continued working together with my little one, and it is possible. So I was taking her on my trips to investors because I was continuing to pitch, and pitching was my duty at Frunt. So here, for example, I am together with Uldi Slater, founder of Infogram, at the Pirate Summit in Germany. So yeah, a lot of trips involved. But I must admit that the business trips was hardest part of my work with Frunt because I had to leave my hearts at home. When our team was 11 people, there was not enough space for us at the co-working space Tech Hub Riga. So we decided to create our own co-working space, the Mill. And this is how I also learned how to build a co-working space, fill it with people, and create events. So we had events for creative designers and for developers so they could find their teams and build new things just as we had built with Frunt. And the Mill was never supposed to be a kind of business project. It was a social project. We were like a family there. This is one of our Christmas dinners you can see in the picture. And we had to close down the mill that was on Dzirnava and Brīvības Street because it was just not sustainable in a while. Also at that time I started another social project, which was NGO Riga Tech Girls, with the aim to bring more women into the tech field. Because when I started Frunt and we went to Tech Hub Riga, there was only one other female co-founder of a startup, and that was Alisa Dīrika, co-founder of Infogram. And together with Alisa and some other beautiful, wonderful ladies, we started Riga Tech Girls to teach women basics of coding and inspire them to become startup founders and tech workers. Here you can see one of the meetups that we did at the Mill. The Mill was supporting Riga Tech Girls as well. So at that time, I was building Riga Tech Girls, running the Mill co-working space. We had actually raised 500,000 euros for Frunt, and all that investment we already had invested. So basically it was spent, and Frunt was not doing as well as we expected and as investors expected. So me, as the person responsible for finances and how I'm going to pay all the salaries every month, I was really under great stress, but the whole team was under stress. And we got into what is called the founder wars. So we were fighting, all three founders of Frunt, we were fighting all the time. And basically that led to a lot of stress on a daily basis. And what happened to me was that I burned out currently everybody has heard about this term. At that time, it was not that popular and I didn't know what was happening to me. But essentially, I got ill and I couldn't get well. So at some point, I was left with a choice. Either I will be hospitalized or I have to leave my job and get well. So I decided to leave my job and get well. What happened then was that after I got better, I realized I don't want to go back because essentially this little bit toxic situation that we were in was the reason that I got ill. So I decided that I want to do something else for my life. And I was with this question, so what do I want to do? And while I was getting better, I read this research. It's the biggest study on human happiness in the world. You can look it up, or I'll actually give you a link. It's called the Grunt Study, and it's the biggest research on human happiness, and it basically says that there is only one thing that is important for you to be happy, healthy, and wealthy, and that is your closest relationships. So this is what I wanted to focus on. And I've researched further, and what I found was that physical contact, and essentially hugs on a daily basis, is what builds warm and close relationships that you need. So this is how I came up with my most recent enterprise, which is called Be With. And my product is Clothing for Hugs, which is supposed to be a reminder for everyone to hug their close ones on a daily basis. And that's how my entrepreneurship story has gone so far. Let's see with your questions what you want to find out more.